Hey, how are you? My name's Felt. Welcome back to Magic the Gathering Arena. Today, we're playing a stolen deck. What do I mean by stolen deck? I mean, this is not an original brew, and it is almost exactly the deck list of a content creator that I watch. If I remember to, I will link their original deck list down in the description along with my version of the deck list, because I run a slightly altered version, I believe. Just because of personal preferences, lack of wild cards, yada yada yada. There is a sideboard, be warned. Might accidentally craft stuff you don't want to craft, just be warned that that's down there. But yeah, this is a just kind of a 5-color shenanigans deck. And why do I call it that? Because it's not quite like a 5-color Atraxa deck. It's kind of a 5-color Invasion of Alara Kami War deck with Herd Migration as another win con. It's just a bit more controlling than other versions of the deck. And because of the inclusion of stuff like Laydown Arms and Leyline Binding, our mana base is a little different than you'd expect, but it is quite a good deck. We also run Render Inert in here, which is really good for getting off 5 counters from Invasion of Alara, meaning you only have to ping it once with an Archangel of Wrath in order to get it to flip, which can be incredibly useful in some matchups. We also run Courier's Briefcase, which is good for early mana fixing if you're not drawing the right colors, or late game for just drawing 3 cards. This deck will get decked out pretty quick into any mill matchup, though, because you are drawing cards or thinning the deck out pretty quickly via Topiary Stomper and Invasion of Alara, but it does pretty well into most matchups. In my experience, it kind of smashes enchantments really, really quickly because of just the sheer amount of removal you have. Laydown Arms hits most of their stuff because you'll typically have about 3 planes. Topiary Stomper is usually a big enough body to chump block if you can get 7 lands out fast enough. Leyline Binding will take out their ossifications and help return your stuff to hand, as will the Kami War. Combine that with making a bunch of chump blockers with Courier's Briefcase and occasionally getting a Wandering Emperor to slice and dice, so to speak. It works out great. It also does okay in other mid-rangey matchups. You do kind of lose to Atali decks on average, because if the Atali hits, like, say, you're one of Atraxa or steals your Kami War, you might be having some problems as a result of that. However, I do overall feel like the deck is very good, and honestly, a lot of decks like that might not even get to that point because you might be running them over with Invasion of Alara as early as turn 4 or 5, depending on how fast you ramp. Let's hop right into things, and let's see how this deck does on the ladder. Our opponent goes first. We have a pretty okay starting hand here. Atrax is a little slow, but being able to Herd Migration on 2 to go get an extra green source for a Topiary Stomper is really nice. Especially getting a second Topiary Stomper makes me more confident and comfortable. Looks like my opponent is playing some form of probably mono red. Makes me feel much better about my hand. Unfortunately for myself, I think I'm probably going to have to still go get a green source here. And I need to do it on end step and such. Okay, Foundry. You good over there, opponent? You want to talk about it? I've never known a mono red deck to be so painfully slow. Usually it's all I can do to stop them from, like, mashing the spacebar like it's owing them money. Maybe the calming, soothing aesthetic of this everything has gotten to them. Yeah, having the Wandering Emperor in hand here is really nice. We will probably have to go get a some extra sources of mana here. Actually, all we need is... Right, all we need is red now, correct? I believe so. So let's just go make sure we get our red. And then I think we play Rafine's Tower into another Topiary Stomper. So that'll make us go up to 5, 6, 7 on the next turn. And we can play the Topiary Stomper while holding up a Leyline Binding. Invasion of Tarkir! Really not what I expected. They clearly don't have any dragons, though, so who cares? Don't know why they're bothering to hit the Topiary Stomper. Still don't know why they're bothering to hit the Topiary Stomper. It literally cannot block yet, opponent, but hey, man. You do you, homie. Still have our Leyline Binding. We absolutely play Rafine's Tower here, so we can have Wandering Emperor available as soon as possible. The fact that they're swinging makes me think that, oh, well, double Leyline Binding, nice. We could go get white mana. I think that's actually probably the best play here. Just get as much white mana as possible. But we can play Leyline Bindings and Unifiers and Wandering Emperors. Honestly, we probably let them flip the invasion, wasting like their attacks and their damage, and then we Leyline Bind it. And then... if they had dragons, they would have revealed them to the invasion itself, right? You can power up that Mishra's Foundry there, opponent. Gee, I wonder if my opponent has a lightning strike to flip that invasion of Tarkir at instant speed or something. Are you really going to double play with fire my Topiary Stomper? No, let's not flip our invasion. Let's kill the Topiary Stomper that literally could not block. Anyways, let's just go get some more mana, because we have a Topiary Stomper now. And we have access to Wandering Emperor or double Leyline Binding, so I'm feeling pretty confident, comfortable, and happy about just the state of things right now. I really don't know why they were so aggressively trying to kill my Stomper when it physically could not block. It was very confusing. We'll block. We'll let them have a card here. What did they get? Phoenix Strike Kumano, Lightning Strike Kumano. Okay. Not really that bad of a time in my opinion. You are currently witnessing why I think Invasion of Tarkir isn't an amazing choice in this, well, in this anything. I don't think they have anything. I think they're holding up Cryo with the Mishra's Foundry. But I could be wrong. And if they do have another one, we're getting it out for free, making it so that it's much, much, much harder for them to kill Atraxa. You're pretty lucky drawing the one of Atraxa in this matchup. Yeah, Furnace Punisher. Oh no, guess I better control multiple basic lands, huh? Sure would be a shame if I didn't control multiple basics, huh? That sure would be a shame. Yeah, grab these 5. Go ahead and pump the guy.
Strike fast and strike
he is that guy. I get the inclusion of Furnace Punisher in some of these mono red decks, but at the same time, I don't know why they think it's a better pick than just, say, more card advantage. Like, my opponent has completely run out of gas. And if that had been, say, Thrill of Possibility, Ren's Resolve, Reckless Impulse, in place of something that only sees use in control matchups, I don't know. It's like, it's good, I get it. But it's also not good, I don't get it. Simultaneously. It's so situational, that's definitely a sideboard card. But that's just like my opinion, man. GG's, mono red. Opponent goes first. Decently keepable hand, I say we go for it. And see, just like that, they're just so scared. They knew what was coming. We're going first, we're gonna mulligan. And we're gonna keep this. Because we can technically lay down arms 1-drops, which is like, okay. Come on, 1-drop. Damn it. Alright, well, we do get to play Topiary Stomper. Kami of Transience, huh? We're just gonna do it like this. Which seems weird, but if they play another enchantment that really grinds my gears, we could play Boseiju to help with that. I don't think there's any enchantments they play that need to be blown up like immediately, but just in case. I really want to get colors that aren't white with Topiary Stomper, but I feel like, oh, never mind, we're lucky. So I feel like I might have to, because they might play larger drops here, but nope. Nope, they're just playing stuff that I can kill. Alright. I need black and blue, and I can get both of them in a timely manner. Timely manner, because Herd Migration allows me access to the other one if I don't draw into it, and I can also still go get it anyways. We still have our Leyline Binding. Alright, here's a little note for all you enchantments players. You don't need to ossify this Topiary Stomper when it can't attack. You really don't. Because then you end up with this problem, which is a bit of a problem. Let's make sure we go get extra sources of extra colors. Yeah, then you end up with this problem of your opponent now has 15/15 power toughness on the board and you have nothing. You don't need to immediately ossify the Topiary Stomper. It is not a requirement. Fun fact, we do get to draw 3 cards in this next turn because we can play this for colorless, this for green, and then get red, white, blue, black. Red, white, blue, black, green? Are they really ossifying again? Did you not learn your lesson? Oh wait, no, we would probably want to white and green or something like that. Or white and green in place of using... Ah, well, this is useful. Bye, Calyx. What? No, you're doing fine, enchantments. You're fine. Yeah, I got crushed by enchantments earlier, so I don't feel bad about this. But yeah, this is the type of version of the matchup that I think I talked about in the intro, where just like, if you get your laydown arms, you leyline bind and ossification, all of a sudden you're just crushing them. I guess that ossification really wanted to show off. Flawless game. GG's. Wunderbar. Laydown arms is able to destroy something of up to 3 CMC. Potentially up to 4 if I have to with Topiary Stomper. And we have double green. We are missing black mana. He is a tad annoying. So we can't like immediately play stuff on curve, but we can go get that with Topiary Stomper. Yeah, see, here's the one moment in time when it's a little annoying to have this as your opener. It's better if it's this plus Jetmir's Gardens, I believe. Okay, well, we need to get rid of that. And to be mana efficient, we could hold up Leyline Binding, or we could play the Briefcase. I think I want to hold up the Binding. It looks like it's mono green. You want to take out mono green's threats ASAP. And they did already play the Boseiju as a land, which makes their life much harder from the rip here. Especially when they're hurting for mana. Let's go get our black mana. And then we will play this into this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Be 1 land off, but we can't herd migration for the last one. Never mind, we'll do it like this instead. Thankfully, herd migration is 15/15 power toughness, so you are kind of going wide enough to not have to worry about most stuff your opponent will be doing. And if you just mana ramp while your opponent is mana screwed, well, you just get to sit there and laugh a little bit. Opponent? There they go. Okay. Well, I feel a little bad. They missed a land drop in there, but gotta play around removal, opponent. GG's. We have a decently playable hand. Let's keep. My only request is that please make this not poison. I've played blue-black creatureless poison about, like, 5 games today. I just wanted to stop, man. I just wanted to stop. I'm a deck that thrives on the creature matchups. The blue-black creatureless poison is not fun. It's not, man. Please cut me some slack. In this instance, it seems like my opponent's not playing at all. Ah, mono red. Yes. Yes, I can deal with mono red. I don't like it, but I can deal with it. At least I know the demon I'm facing. How do y'all feel about the blue-black poison deck that started? There's also a blue-green one, the Ivy one, but the Ivy one's existed since Venerated Rot Priest got printed. The blue-black one has made a really big, like, surge in popularity here in recent weeks, I found. And I think it's just because there's so many, just, like, creature-heavy aggro decks that, like, playing something like creatureless poison works really, really, really well. Yeah, you better get that 1/1 opponent. That was really gonna get you. Oh, nice. Nice, because that way I have double white, and I don't need to go hunt up a white. I can go get any color I want. I'm probably going to go get white mana anyways, because that way I can, like, hold up Wandering Emperor. Don't actually know what my opponent's doing, though. Plus, this gets around the Furnace creature, which I believe I need to have 2 basics for. Nope, that's not getting cut. No, we're keeping that in. I'm not awkwardly silencing my video. Just you wait, dear viewers. I'm investigating getting a new mixer. And if I get a new mixer, I'd be able to have the power of doing whatever I wanted to my setup. Whatever I want. I'm not going to lie. This is like the perfect matchup for this deck. I get to just wait. Play with fire. Yes, you play with your fire, opponent. Yeah, not even joking. I literally just get to sit here and wait for my opponent to play stuff, and I hold big removal spells for it. They gonna blow up my courier's briefcase? That would be adorable. Blue, red, black, white, green. I do have all 5 of my colors. Do it! Abrade the briefcase! Oh, it's so scary! Invasion of Regatha. What are you, creatureless burn? I don't think that works in standard right now. I hate to break it to you. Honestly, we're just gonna play like this. Because that way we just have the most options at instant speed here. Koth. We're going to wait for them to plus Koth? And now we're going to flash in the Wandering Emperor. So they're more of a mid-range mono red.
Now let your blade do the talking.
Which works perfectly fine for me.
Guards, to me.
Fun fact about the Kami War, I can use that to bounce my own Wandering Emperor to hand and make my opponent discard a card. It's pretty freaking sick. Or I can bounce my courier's briefcase. I can bounce one of my own things to hand and my opponent has to discard. I like to use it a lot with leyline bindings to, like, just get the leyline binding back to my hand. Darn, that's unfortunate.
I'll be back.
They still have to discard a card, though. Discard something, please. And now we know that they play Brotherhood's End, which means I don't want to really bother with Herd Migration at the moment. That makes me really want to play my Archangel of Wrath, though. The fact that they just got rid of their burn spell that kills it exactly. Okay. Sure. Thanks. Yeah, it looks like they're playing essentially a deck that I've played before, which is like mono red control. Ah, they're playing the Invasion of Kaldheim one. Alright, we get to see exactly what they're playing. Fun fact. If you exile, say, the Invasion of Kaldheim, they can't flip it anymore. Isn't that cool? Another fun fact, we're about to start getting some stuff back from our graveyard if our opponent doesn't find a way to kill the guy. Other fun facts. We can exile their other stuff. And then we can bounce, like, either Okagachi back to hand in order to, like, be able to exile more stuff, or maybe bounce Archangel of Wrath back to hand if they don't kill it. I don't want to bounce the Leyline Binding because this just gives them card advantage, and I'm not really gonna mill them out. I think they could technically kill Okagachi, but they would need to use like multiple burn spells, and I don't know if they really want to do that. They do have tons of mana right now, though. Alright, and if they have the second Nahiri's Warcrafting, Archangel of Wrath still dies. How lucky is my opponent? Please discard a card. Thank you. More damage plus more controlling aspects of the game if I do something like that. We do have Herd Migration still. I don't really think we want to play it. Because I feel like they'll probably, like, go find... I don't even know what they would go find. You know what? Let's try and force it out of them. That does take up, like, half their mana for a turn. Nice. I'll take it. Go ahead and draw 3 cards. That's alright. Cycle away the Xander's Lounge. We have 26 life here. It'll be very hard for our opponent to kill us with just raw burn. Especially with 2 light up the knights in the graveyard here. He goes up to 6 loyalty, doesn't he? Yeah, unfortunately I don't think Render Inert deals with that. 2 Render Inerts does. Do I have 2 black sources? I do. Nice. That allows me to draw 2 cards, which is very cool. And we still have Leyline Binding in case they try and do something funky. They can play this to burn me by removing loyalty from Koth. A little annoying, but... I believe I've only actually hit 1 Archangel of Wrath here. Yeah, I have. I'll just do this real quick. Draw a card.
I'm tougher than you.
Can I double kick this? Yeah, let's double kick this. Kill Koth. Hit face. If I draw 1 more Archangel of Wrath, I kill them now, which is nice. I don't think they'll play an enchantment, but I believe this flips into an enchantment, so I want to be able to blow it up at a moment's notice. Yeah, we are 1 Archangel of Wrath away from just killing my opponent. We have another one in the deck somewhere. So we might be able to pull it off. We will be able to help thin the deck a tad with the Topiary Stomper. That'll be nice. Yeah, I've seen mono red decks like this. I personally don't think they're that great. I think they really suffer into anything beyond aggro. I also especially think that multiple Nahiri's Roarcraftings is a little bit of a misplay. But you know, maybe I don't know any better. I feel like maybe just like a Jaya or something would maybe be better. I think the deck only runs Koth though, because Koth is the only like planeswalker who consistently survives a burn down the house. And whereas Jaya doesn't, and you kill off her tokens with a burn down the house. But I don't know. This is a big old pile of we'll see, right? Could also be a big old pile if my opponent is salty roping. Or just closed the app or something. This is the type of mid-rangey matchup where I think this deck will thrive. Anything that tries to play like all the removal to get rid of all your stuff, that's great. Most of my stuff has really powerful into the battlefield effects. Herd Migration makes a giant pile of stuff, so you have to board wipe it. Courier's Briefcase can draw 3 cards later. Archangel of Wrath does 4 to face. Wandering Emperor requires an answer. Right. Topiary Stomper thins my deck or mana rams. You just get lots of stuff. You get lots of stuff to work with this deck. I really think this card, the fact that I didn't have 4 copies of this card for the longest time is probably one of my biggest regrets for Arena. Sure, you have to be in Mardu colors to make the best use out of the card, but you can technically splash Mardu colors. Not easily, but you can splash Mardu colors. You can easily splash the red in just about any deck by just running red dual lands. Technically speaking, if you're running any of the, like, secluded courtyard type effects, they can be used for the kicker portion of the spell, which is neat. Is my opponent done roping me? There they go. GG's opponent, I guess. Don't know why they roped me. I don't know. Don't be a roper. Just concede. Just be better. GG's. We are going first. We have an unkeepable hand. We will mulligan. Much better hand, but I think we have to drop the laydown arms because it can only hit a 1-drop. And if we're hitting a 1-drop on turn 2, we can just leyline bind it. We're actually just going to play the briefcase and get a chump blocker out. We can still work up towards our leyline binding here. It'll only be 1 mana whenever we choose to play it. Invasion of Tarkir. I've noticed this card showing up more and more in mono red deck lists, and I'm not going to lie, I do not think it is worth the squeeze. Like, the metaphorical juice of Invasion of Tarkir, I do not think it is worth the squeeze. Yeah, I guess we get rid of that. It'll be dealing damage for a little bit because we don't have any basics. And I'm super comfortable just leyline binding that away. We draw an untapped source? We did not. We could just play the Archangel of Wrath, but then we can't play Invasion of Alara on curve here. I don't know which one's more important. It could be anything. It could even be an Archangel of Wrath. I'm not sure which one's better. We can also kicker the Archangel of Wrath as well. I don't know if we care about this being flipped. Well, they're not trying to flip it, so never mind. I definitely don't care. Yeah, alright, well, if they're just doing it like that... Actually, you know what? We're gonna go with the kicker. We're gonna kill off one of the little token guys. And then we can play Invasion of Alara on the next turn. Not quite sure if this was the right choice, but it does prevent them from easily flipping Invasion of Tarkir here. They have to, like, go more for it. In this case, it's a Monastery Swift Spear. Oh, they just have a Lightning Strike. Well, that's unfortunate for me. I mean, it can't attack this turn, though, so... It has Summoning Sickness, so... I don't quite know why you would... Anyways. Ooh, Atraxa. Come on, something good! Topiary Stomper is good. Topiary Stomper can go get me extra white mana to make sure that my Archangel of Wrath can be kickered. Which we will probably use to kick the Defiant Thundermaw. They can only deal an extra 2 damage with the attack trigger, I believe. Which does mean we have to be kinda careful, but... I don't think we have to be that careful. With our blocks, I mean. Because they can, like, attack with it, hit the Archangel of Wrath, play with fire it, or something. Or they can just do it like that. Alright, this will hurt a bit, but we will be able to kill off the Defiant Thundermaw after this. This right here is one of the bigger things that I'm like, okay, but why did you play that? You spent so many resources trying to flip it between Invasion. You played the Invasion, then you used Lightning Strike and a Sokuzan to try and flip it. It seems like you would have just been doing more damage more faster. I know that's not really how you speak the English language. Psh, it's fine. You could be doing more damage more. Why are you scooping? Huh? Whatever. They could be doing more damage faster if they were just playing, I don't know, Felden in that slot, right? If you're running a Dragon's Matter deck, I get it, right? Zergo, Ojutai, and Jeskai, like mono red dragons or something, but like if you're just playing mono red burn or mono red aggro, it doesn't really feel worthwhile to slot that card in. Especially if you're gonna, if there's a meta full of Atraxa style decks that run Archangel of Wrath. But that's just like my opinion, man. But either way, GG's. We are going first. A pretty okay starting hand. Raffine's Tower tapped on turn 1, so we can lay down arms a 1-drop if we have to. Otherwise, we go into Courier's Briefcase, into a Topiary Stomper. Wunderbar. What holds up priority in mono white on 1? Is that a Surge of Salvation? I guess it's a Surge of Salvation. Alright, well, so we don't have to crack the briefcase. Just gonna do this. We do have another white source. We do have a red and a black source. We do have double green sources. I feel like more white mana is never bad. This has got to be a Surge of Salvation or some such, right? I don't think mono white would run anything else. Okay. Strange, but alright. No reason to take 1 damage for no reason. Let's try and get the thing out of him. Oh, Lauren's Escape. That makes sense. I will say, I don't know why this deck is running it mono white, because, not even joking, like, mono white doesn't give, like, trample or anything. The best it gives is, like, hexproof, indestructible protection from colors. With how fast everything is resolving, I think this is a, pretty clean sweep. Moments like this are when, if you are an arena player, you want to start learning how to play around the idea that the game forces prio stops on you. It was painfully obvious that my opponent had some form of hexproof, indestructible something because of the way they kept getting paused up and locked up on the priority sticks, right? It was painfully obvious that my opponent had something for protection. This is a little bit of advice, free of charge here for you, dear viewer. Learn to play around those and learn to go through it quickly so that it's not super obvious. You know? Go ahead and bounce that. But in fact, we can also render... What the hell? That's confusing. We can render inert our own thing here so that next turn it gets its first lore counter again. So if they play something, I get to exile something again. But they don't want to not play stuff? Oh, opponent. Hang on. Take 2, Electric Takealoo. There we go. I needed that land. That was the real reason I was doing it. I wasn't really doing it to, like, be like, aha! Free exiles. It was mostly to get lands, and it was opponent! Opponent! Are you okay? Do you need help? Is this a cry for help? I think this is a cry for help. What was that? They just headbutted. Like, just fucking headbutted my... They just headbutted my Kami War 3 times in a row, thinking they'd get a different outcome. I don't know what my opponent was doing. Okay, let's look through and see what... let's try and piece together their game plan, because now I'm just curious, because that throws me off. All right, okay, we see they have Urza Silex, so they obviously want to be able to blow up the board, wipe it, and get Planeswalkers. So they want to go get, like, Elspeths. I don't know who else they would want to go get, though. It looks like they're actually in Boros, not Mono White, and it looks like it is a semi-counters deck, but if you're running All Will Be One at all, you should be running enough dual lands to be able to pay for that double red. Because they were at 5 mana with no way of paying for that double red. In my opinion, that's probably like 4 Cabaretti Courtyards, 4 Sundown Passes, 4 Battlefield Forges, because all of those still have the white mana. You're not running Laydown Arms, or if you are, you didn't draw it. I'm going to assume not. And so because of that, you should be able to easily play it on curve. Now, they could have gotten unlucky, you know, like half their lands would only be the dual lands, but still. But I guess this is just like All Will Be One counters? Weird homebrew idea. Really shouldn't have just headbutt the Kami War 4 times in a row, though. That was suspect, I'm not gonna lie. GG's, though. Opponent goes first, but we can lay down arms up to a 2-drop, so I'm gonna keep it. Not really hoping to draw Wandering Emperor, but, you know, you can't win them all. Well, that is just nigh unfortunate. Why are you an Abzan? Very confuzzling. Says Angel, plays Anointed Peacekeeper. Explain! If I were them, I might name the Archangel of Wrath. But I am not them. We will play an all natural Archangel of Wrath here, just to have a board presence. I don't know what they're actually playing. If that's not a protection spell in hand, my opponent's gotta be high. My opponent has gotta be high. Maybe they have a, I don't know, man. I can't even... Okay, Thalian the Gitrog monster, sure. Alright, well, we'll just go ahead and draw. If we draw an untapped land, I'm pretty sure we can play the Kami War. In this instance, we can just Leyline Bind Thalian the Gitrog monster. We will just double kicker this end. We're saving the Kami War for something a little bigger than an Anointed Peacekeeper. Especially since my opponent is, like, kinda out of juice over there. I think they really needed the, Sigarda to... Really? You could see what I had in my hand. I don't quite get what that was about. I could have also bounced my Archangel of Wrath there to make them discard what they had in their hand and then kick it in to kill the Coppercoat Vanguard. Thalia and the Gitrog monster, egads! Go ahead and draw 3 cards, shall we? Darn, if only this was like instant speed. Cannot win them all, though. Yeah, we do want to hold up the Wandering Emperor, though. And we want to hold up the Wandering Emperor with an extra mana. Well, first, we're going to swing in with these two, because they need to give me something back now. Lay Down Arms and Archangel of Wrath or a Courier's Briefcase, and they have a big decision here. Do they give me something big so that I deal more damage, or do they give me something small? I'm not going to lie. I think my opponent's just having a rough time over there. They could have a board wipe in hand, but that's fine. We have 2 cycles and a Wandering Emperor here. So we have a way to rebuild if they play like a board wipe. That's lethal in air. Straight up lethal in the sky. Okay, well, that was interesting. Abzan humans. I guess. Right? Like, I guess it was Abzan humans? Human Frog Horror? Don't know why they named Angel. I guess because they didn't need to name Angel. They could have named Human. They had the green and the white. They could have named... Okay. I don't know why they named it. Do they just, like, run more angels that I didn't see? I don't know. GG's, I guess. And that is that. I believe final tally was like 7 and 6, 7 and 5, somewhere in that range. It was above the 50% win rate for my recording session. I played a lot of blue-black poison proliferate that runs the creatureless version, and that is really, really hard for this deck to deal with. You would need to be playing in best of 3 in order to probably combat that, and you'd have to just like slot out all of your laydown arms for like counter spells or something. Which is really hard to run in this deck with the way that it's set up, because you need the early green mana and you need the double white. So it'd be kind of hard to set up the deck to make sure you had blue for counter spells, but it is possible. It is something to think about. But yeah, this deck does very poorly against that, and I played it like 2 or 3 times, and I lost each time. It was very frustrating, I'm not going to lie. But that's not really a problem with the deck. That's a problem with me not knowing how to pilot this deck in that matchup. I still think it's a very good deck. You got to see it go toe-to-toe with a lot of other mid-range decks. I think... just like every other 5-color pile that runs Invasion of Alara, it will kind of stomp all over those other 5-color piles. You ramp very fast, you run lots of easy-to-play removal that's very cheap, and you have a lot of exile effects in your removal that can target lots of different permanents, meaning that enchantments, for example, just gets shit all over because their removal is typically permanents, not actual removal. You do have a sometimes tough matchup into control decks. I don't think I actually ran into a control deck playing this today. I have run into them several times before. You kind of have to force them out of resources. Use stuff like the Kami War to deny resources, Invasion of Alara to blow up lands if you can, Herd Migration to force out those board wipes so you can land an Atraxa safely, for example. But overall, the deck's good. The deck's fun. I think it does very well in Best of 1 because a lot of people will not expect you to be playing this type of version of it. If I would change one major thing about the deck, I would probably run max copies of Invasion of Alara, and then cut like a Laydown Arms or 2. Because I think Invasion of Alara really like makes the deck just sing. It's a beautiful card that does so well. Being able to get out free Briefcase or Stomper or Archangel or Laydown or Wandering Emperor, just being able to hit any of that for free is wunderbar. But that's it. Thanks for hanging out and watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will try and remember to include both my deck list and the original deck list down in the description below, so that if you want to check them both out and look at the differences, you can. But that's it. Thanks for watching, and hope to catch you in the next one.